Hi guys, it's Alex or Gothic Fitness on here or Instagram, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something after I posted my video yesterday about, or actually I filmed my video yesterday, I don't know when I'm going to be posting it, but I was thinking about kind of some of the reactions I've got when I've told people that I'm getting a service dog, and some of the people, being like, for you, like, are you going to get rid of her when she's fully trained, like, and not understanding that she is actually my service dog. And so I wanted to go in and talk about something which I've talked about on my channel before, called imposter syndrome. So basically, I'm going to be speaking from my own experience. So this isn't always the case. It just kind of depends on your own experiences and what has happened to you in your life that have made you become the person you are today. But basically, when I was growing up, a lot of the times when I had mental health issues, or I felt like I needed to, be seen by a doctor or something like that, a lot of the times my concerns were not taken seriously. And this is hard for me to talk about, but by one of my parents especially, I was made to feel stupid, or bad, or like crazy, or basically just that, like, that I was being dramatic, that the mental health issues that I had weren't real or weren't serious enough to warrant help. So I grew up having pretty severe mental health issues and learning to hide them very well, because I was told that I was being a baby, I was being weak, I was taking resources away from people who really needed them, and I didn't really need them. So this began the start of my imposter syndrome. As I grew up, every time I had something wrong with me, like at one point of time, I had really bad knee pain, and I went and got my knees x-rayed to make sure that there was nothing wrong with them. And now, like, looking back, most likely I was slightly overweight, and my knee, and I didn't really do any physical activity that would have led to strengthening those muscles. So I probably just had knee pain from carrying around my overweight body. But I was told that there was nothing wrong with me, that I just wanted to go get x-rays to get attention. Every time I was sick, I was also made to feel like that I went to the doctor or the hospital more often than necessary, even though, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've actually been to the hospital. And I actually really didn't like the doctor back then. Like, now I don't care, but back then I didn't want to go to the doctor unless I had to. And I feel like that feeling got more ingrained in me, because I felt like every time I went to the doctor I got kind of ridiculed, and made to feel bad because I was causing my parents to spend extra money on something that was made up. So as I got older, that never really stopped and has still continued today, where if I say that I'm having a problem, or I'm saying that I'm, having something with my mental health issues, one of my parents is extremely supportive and wonderful and awesome, and very there for me and willing to help me in any way possible. And the other parent does not believe that I have anything going on, and has never really been there to help ease any of my issues that I've had in my life. So every time I think about hospitalizing myself due to some of my disorders that I have, I immediately try to reject that idea in my head, because I'm like, you're not bad enough, you're not sick enough, you don't deserve that sort of care, because someone else needs it more than you. The same thing when I got my service dog, when I got my first service dog in training, Bowie. When I first got him, it was a lot of pressure to have people ask me, oh wait, like, is he your service dog? And then I would have to explain in a way that made me uncomfortable, why I needed a service dog, which really you don't need to explain that to anybody. Your medical history is nobody's business except for your own. and your doctors, but I felt like I had to explain myself, or people would think that I was taking advantage of the system, or that I was, not really deserving of that. And the imposter syndrome that I felt because of the way I was raised kind of amplified those feelings. So after my service dog Bowie washed out because of some behavioral issues, he just wasn't going to cut it as a full-time service dog. I spent like a year trying to decide if I really wanted to get another service dog, because I did not like the comments and the attention and stuff that I had experienced the first time I got one, and I knew that he had made my life a lot easier to navigate. But I just felt like nobody was going to understand or accept that my disabilities were bad enough that I needed something like this. It wasn't until this past July 2020, where I basically had a total mental break. I mean, yeah, that's basically what you can call it. I don't know what words you're allowed to say on YouTube or not, but I had 2 very close calls in attempting to take my own life, and I was very emotionally, mentally unstable because of a lot of the situations that were going on in my life, and on top of the mental illnesses that I had. Now, I think that the things I had gone through would have been a lot for anybody to deal with, but when you have mental illness on top of a situation that is, turning your life upside down, it's basically almost impossible to cope with those emotions without some sort of external help. So after going through that situation, and once things calmed back down, I made the decision that a service dog would be what's best for me, because that is something that I can have with me, 24/7 if I feel like I need it, and something that can help me to feel safer, with myself. My service dog currently is chewing on one of my toys. But I think that the main reason I'm making this video is I feel like gaslighting is like a huge issue, especially for people like me who tend to be very empathetic, very trusting of others. I always, everything I do, I try, I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but I try super hard to have all of my actions, be positive for people and to, help people. And I never am trying to do something to hurt someone else if it means, gaining something. Like that, just to me, I just don't have that ability. And I think that for people like us, it's very easy to be gaslit by people who we're very close to, because we come up with this dialogue in our mind that these are our loved ones, these are the people we care about, we would do anything for these people, there's no way that they would hurt me purposefully. And so then it's very easy to miss red flags, it's very easy to excuse bad behavior because you love them and you care about them and you want what's best for them. And as far as like boundaries being crossed, that's another horrible thing for empaths is, you basically don't have boundaries, and you have to work really, really hard and like go see a therapist or something like that to be able to create good boundaries. And the whole time, if you're with somebody or have a friend, a close friend or a family member who is somebody who is being manipulative and gaslighting you, you already have that imposter syndrome, and then on top of that you have somebody that you're really close with and you trust telling you, oh no, you're crazy, that never happened, or oh, like you don't need that, like that's for people that are way sicker than you. And then you start to hear those things and you start to believe them in your own mind, and then you start feeling like, oh yeah, I am crazy, like I don't need that, like and this is why I've never actually, when I probably should have several times, been hospitalized, because I always get to the point where I'm thinking about being hospitalized and I am like, no, I don't need that, like I'm fine, like I can work through this myself. And I usually can, but it's without or not without super serious consequences on my mental health and close calls and things like that. So I guess the reason I'm making this video is to say that if you have any sort of disorders, if you have any sort of emotional, physical, mental trauma that has happened to you, that is yours. That is your trauma. Everybody's traumatized by different things. If one person experiencing one thing might be totally fine or something that they can get over in like, a day. And for someone else, because of their past experiences, it could be super traumatizing to the point where it is consuming their entire life. And that's kind of what I'm living with currently, is something that was not a big deal for someone else. It was a huge deal for me. And I am trying to, use my resources as far as my therapist, my service dog, and also my medication and my actual physician to help mitigate those issues as much as possible. But I'm the one who gets to decide that it's an issue, and I'm the one who gets to decide how, along with my medical team, how it is best treated. And somebody else doesn't get to tell you that you don't deserve a service dog. Somebody else doesn't get to tell you that you don't deserve to be on medication. Somebody else doesn't get to tell you that you shouldn't be hospitalized because you don't have it as bad as somebody else, or you're not as sick as somebody else. If we had that mentality of you don't deserve this because you're not sick enough, then only the sickest person would get help. And somebody's always going to have it worse than you, and somebody's always going to be more unfortunate or more traumatized or more sick, and that doesn't take away from your feelings, your illness, your disorder, your trauma, just because somebody has it worse. You need help and love and care and support just as much as anybody else does. And there's the whole saying of hurt people hurt people. I think that that's really true, and I think that until you make a actual effort to try to make yourself better, you're just going to be taking it out on either yourself or people around you, and hurting yourself or hurting those people that you care about most. So if you're watching this video and you've made it to the end and you have something in your mind, whether it's a physical issue or a mental issue or an emotional issue or a relationship or whatever, that you've been thinking in your head this isn't good, this isn't healthy, I need help, this is your wake-up call. This is your permission. This is whatever you need for it to be, to say you are deserving of help, you are deserving of love, you are deserving of whatever medical treatment, hospitalization, medical care that you need. And you don't need to prove yourself to anybody, and you don't need to make excuses or make explanations for why you don't need it. If you feel like you need something, then take it, do the thing that's best for you. People like us tend to always put ourselves last, and it's very toxic and very detrimental, and you can't help anybody if you're not taking care of yourself. So I really hope that a few of you who see this decide to make the jump, whether that means to go see a doctor, go see a therapist, just talking to your spouse or your friend or whatever about boundaries that are being crossed, whatever you need to do to improve your physical, mental, spiritual health. I hope that this video gives you a jump off point to start with that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video helped at least one person. If you have any comments, questions, anything, you can leave those below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and you can share this video because I would really like to try to help as many people as I possibly can. And as always, live healthy, die happy, and leave a pretty corpse. Thanks guys. Bye.